Okay, and today's presentation will be Pat. Pat, please take it away.
Yes, so today's presentation is about the merge request I did lately about distinguish GitLab error when it's unavailable, and I took it actually to see whatever GitLab errors there is, and we will be able to see what is actually going on, since it was a quick win. And it will specifically be more about GraphQL custom errors with extensions. Since not the whole team has a lot of GraphQL experience, I thought maybe that would be interesting for most people. So the main problem was, I think this one shows it the best. The main problem was that when GitLab was actually like unavailable, we had a GraphQL query that was failing when you were on that page, just the main project page. And so it failed like that with a error 500, and it was difficult for the front end to parse and stuff like that. So since it's a GraphQL query, I had a whole thought process that brought me to actually using custom GraphQL errors. And I'm gonna explain to you why, what's the thought process and why you should, when you use GraphQL, it's better to use custom errors instead of putting everything in the message, in the message or error message, or instead of outputting a HTTP error code. So why not use the HTTP error codes? Is because GraphQL doesn't always work with HTTP. It's actually transport agnostic. So you could, theoretically, implement GraphQL with gRPC. That would be dumb, but why not? You could actually, like, the implementation layer actually doesn't matter to GraphQL. All you need is the query field and the variable field. If you can put a query field and a variable field, it's enough for GraphQL to be implemented, actually. And the second reason why you should not use HTTP error code is because in GraphQL, salvation is individual. It means every resolver, so each field that you see here in GraphQL has a resolver, and name also has a resolver, height also has a resolver, and each of these resolver works actually independently. So if first it's the hero resolver, it generates data. Then out of this data, the name resolver is gonna work on the data that was generated by the hero resolver, and so on and so on. So what might happen is that hero passed, it had no problem to output the data, but just height might be wrong, you know. So, and here you have like an example of that we asked for a hero called Jar Jar, and we asked for a Jedi called Luke. We could have, so the hero is actually Neil, and the Jedi is actually Luke Skywalker. And if you look in the errors, you can actually see, like, you can see the error message that Jar Jar could not be found. So just in those cases where you can actually like get Luke, but not Jar Jar, it's just stupid to do a 404. Not stupid, but it's not appropriate to do a 404, because maybe just this height field would fail, and this might happen in GraphQL, and just this height field would output an error, cast an error, and it would be here. So that's why here you have an example of the wrong way I was doing it at first. So this is a GraphQL query, as you can see here, and I outputted just a 500 error. it was distinguished from all the other errors. So the first goal of the ticket was let's say accomplished, but it was not appropriate for everything. It didn't give the whole context, and it was not appropriate for everything that was happening. And here is the right way. So yeah, so here you can see, like, if you look closely, sorry, I need to move that thing around. If you look closely, like, you can see that project could be fetched. You could also fetch the ID of the project. This was no problem. You could fetch the repository and its type name, but you could not fetch the paginated tree. So only this resolver actually fails when GitLab is unavailable. So if you look at the error that we looking at, the error details, you can see the message is just standard. You can see the path of the error, which tells you which fields actually failed for that particular error. And then you can see here the extensions. So just you can see the code. So what actually happened, this is what the front end should use to parse the error and handle it. And you can add extra details if you want, but the most important field is the code. So here, did I already explain that? Why not use error object? Yeah, why not use the message fields in the error object? So just the first field that you see here, which would, like, kind of, it's the standard way of working with, like, it's the naive way of working when you work with GraphQL. Is just do a simple message field and go on with it. But the problem is that error fields can be generated from a little bit of error everywhere, and it's usually human readable errors, and it's not meant for the front end or for any clients to be parsed easily. Usually, if you do it like from the inception of your project as a convention that you say, like, in the message field, we only gonna put error codes, it's okay. But if it's not the case, and sometimes it's error codes, sometimes it's not, like in those two examples here, it's an error code, you could do that, and here it's not. It's better to just use GraphQL custom errors and just have your human readable error so people can understand, like, what's going on, and having your error codes actually in the extensions. And you can even add extra stuff like the status of the error if you want, like the field extension is actually not hard-coded or something like that, or hard-typed, let's say. So you can put whatever you want in this hash, as long as you have a code, which is the only convention that exists for that extension. Then it's okay. It's okay. You can do whatever you want after it. You can put status, you can put error details, you can put the stack trace, whatever you want into the extensions. How to implement it, you can see here, is actually pretty easy. You can put your error message first here, and then with a hash argument, the extensions, and then whatever you want, like as a code, and you can add some stuff here as well. And yeah, that's it. There is maybe another topic, but it's another topic that was related to the issues or the gRPC errors, but I will post it for you guys so you can see, like, because I didn't know gRPC had actually statuses, and every bad statuses, every bad statuses actually has a status code, and you can see actually what's going on in the server, in the gRPC server. So I thought this was interesting, but this is not related to GraphQL. And that's it for me. If there is any question, let me know. Yes, Sean.
I always hate to be first, but
yeah.
Anyway, first of all, fantastic presentation, really impressive. I learned at least two things. One of which was I didn't also know that gRPC had fixed status codes. And when they send us a status code, is it like HTTP? Do they also send a text message? Or they just send a code?
I mean, no, not from what I've seen. In our client, at least, I don't know how it works in the backend, but in our client, at least, all you get is the number. So then you have to check into the page that I showed you what the number corresponds to.
I see.
But it might be just an implementation thing. And I actually did the reverse. I put all the from the number I put the message into the GraphQL error, into the error of GitLab, so we don't have to look it up every time we have those type of errors. Another question? Okay. I think, oh, okay, Sean, you have 30 seconds too.
Okay, so it's more of a comment, actually. It seems like this is great information what we've got here, and I can see you put a lot of effort into this presentation. Thank you very much. Would it be worth adding this for some version of this to the GraphQL page? It's the GitLab GraphQL, developer page. I
think it could, but I don't know. It needs to be, the convention needs to be set then, but I cannot decide all by myself just to put it there, I guess, but.
Okay.
Yeah, but I can make an issue and discuss with the relevant people about it, yeah.
I think there's a working group around APIs and GraphQL at the moment. So it could be worth talking to them, maybe.
Yeah.
I can't actually remember what the purpose of their working group was, but it was APIs and GraphQL. So I don't really, it might be related, so it might be worth talking to them.
Okay.
I mean, even just, sorry.
Yeah, I will then make an issue, and then I will contact you so you can tell me where I can find these mysterious people.
So they are not so mysterious. There is like a channel around like GraphQL in Slack, so you can join that. And
Okay.
I believe there is even like a handle, like something like GraphQL, like experts or something like that in GitLab. So
Okay.
for example, if you want to suggest adding these like extensions to all of the errors as an option, you can ping this handle, and like people who added themselves to this list will reply to you. So I think it's the usual way how they interact about some changes.
Okay. So, okay. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely do.
Actually, it's a nice sketch. Yeah, how I usually try to find an expert in a particular field. I open team page, and then common dev, GraphQL, and then some people. Yeah, I may find some people, and yeah, I remember that I was looking for a GraphQL expert or a reviewer like this. So one of the ways.
I think at one point we were going to be adding like didn't we have a spreadsheet of other areas of knowledge, like specialisms that aren't really like categories? So I think mine had Redis, for example, or caching, stuff like that. I'm sure it existed at some point, but I don't know what.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that. I'm not sure what happened to that. Yeah.
No, it's a shame that I think we suggested to add it to the team page, but that wasn't picked up on. So it's a bit of a shame because that could have been quite useful, actually.
Okay.
Okay, fantastic presentation. Thank you very much. I'm going to stop the recording.
Yep.
And